A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 217. In the previous episode, inside the setting Sun Hall, a deadly confrontation unfolded. Li and Nangong Wan faced her senior martial sister, a formidable cultivator wielding the ancient Light Stasis Mirror. A treasure said to freeze any spiritual force within its radiant beam. Nangong Wan's Vermillion birdband clashed with the mirror's power. But even with the Devilslaying Thorn wounding her opponent, the icy woman quickly regained control. Li joined the fray, summoning his 1,000-layer mountain and the fearsome Gold Devouring Beetles, while Nangong Wan unleashed her ultimate technique, the Divine Incarnation Light. Pushed to her limits, the senior martial sister revealed a sinister weapon, the Blood Devil Sword. Pulsing with demonic chi, she demanded Nangong Wan sacrifice herself and marry Wei Lichen for the good of the sect. But Li's calm, resolute voice cut through the chaos. He would never allow it. And the episode 217 continues. Li responded to Nangong Wan's senior martial sister with an unhurried tone. "It doesn't matter who I am. But it does matter why you are being so obstinate. Just give the constraining heart restriction medallion to us and we'll immediately release you. As for the Blood Devil Sword, I have nothing to fear from it despite not knowing of it. It would be best if you didn't rely on it." The icy woman's eyes glimmered with a cold, calculating light as she stared at Li. Her lips curled into a cruel, disdainful smile. "You are overestimating yourself. If you knew the true nature of the Blood Devil Sword, you would not dare speak so boldly. I will kill you first and see if junior martial sister Nangong changes her mind." Without hesitation, she bit the tip of her tongue, and a thick, dark mist of blood essence spurted from her mouth, coating the small crimson sword she held. She formed a complex incantation seal with her hands, and in an instant, the sword began to glow with a deep crimson light. In a dazzling flash, it expanded rapidly, growing to a full meter in length. Its wicked, jagged edges gleamed like polished rubies, and a faint mist of blood hung around it, filling the air with a chilling, metallic scent. The sword exuded a malevolent aura, pulsating as if it were alive and hungry for blood. Li remained calm, but Nangong Wan's expression grew tense. She knew of the terrifying reputation of the Blood Devil Sword. Even someone as skilled as Li could not afford to underestimate it. "Act quickly. We cannot allow her to attack first," she shouted, her voice edged with urgency, as she tried to prepare her own defense by condensing her Divine Incarnation Light. A dome of emerald green light formed rapidly above Nangong Wan, spinning at dizzying speeds. Within a fraction of a moment, a ray of brilliant green energy shot outward toward the icy woman. But with an effortless flick of her hand, the woman released a triangular flag. It floated for an instant before transforming into a thick, eerie green fog, intercepting the attack with supernatural precision. From the emerald light, a flood dragon emerged, roaring as it tried to disperse the fog. The dragon surged through, but the dense mist clung to it like a relentless, suffocating force. No matter how hard it struggled, the fog slowed it down, wrapping around its body like a living shackle. Nangong Wan grimaced, and a trace of joy flickered across the icy woman's face. Seizing the opportunity, the icy woman swung the crimson sword over her head, releasing a 3-meter-wide wave of sword chi. The wave was scarlet red and crackled with malevolent energy. It cut through the air like a blade of pure malice. Carrying an oppressive, devilish aura, the surrounding spiritual energy surged, pulling the sword chi forward with irresistible force. Li felt the familiar tension in his body as he was suddenly shackled by the overwhelming power of the attack. He could not move a single finger, let alone cast a technique. The deadly wave of sword chi advanced steadily, and Nangong Wan's face went pale with fear. The icy woman's lips curved into a smug smile, convinced that Li's defeat was imminent. But Li did not panic. His golden eyes narrowed as he drew a deep breath. Thunder rumbled faintly, and strands of golden lightning flickered and coalesced around his body, forming a delicate, yet powerful net. The blood sword chi struck the net, producing a massive explosion of energy that shook the room. Despite the sword's attempts to sever the lightning, it was unable to break through. Instead, the golden strands wrapped around the sword chi like a living net. restraining its chaotic motion. Han Li observed carefully, realizing that even the formidable divine Devilbane lightning was being pushed to its limits. Had he not used a third of his lightning reserves, the sword chi might have overwhelmed him completely. Determined not to leave anything to chance, Han Li released 2 concentrated bolts of lightning into the net, reinforcing it with overwhelming force. The sword chi writhed, but the golden lightning gradually subdued it, reducing it to a faint crimson mist in the air. Without hesitation, Han Li condensed the mist into a small golden orb, roughly the size of a fist, and held it in his palm. His expression remained calm and unshakable, as if nothing had happened. The icy woman and Nangong Wan were both frozen in shock. The Blood Devil Sword, a weapon infamous across the heavenly south for its incredible, devilish power, had been neutralized so completely. This weapon, though small and concealable like a magic treasure, could not be refined like an ancient treasure. Its attacks could cleave almost any technique or defense, and its user risked accumulation of devilish chi that could consume their rationality and even lead to death. Only a handful of such artifacts existed, and all were feared and respected. Seeing her weapon rendered ineffective, Han Li acted immediately. With a fierce whistle, the Gold Devouring Beetles above him swarmed with terrifying speed, flooding the hall and charging toward the icy woman. Alarmed, she spat out a small silver sword from her mouth and quickly formed an incantation gesture. The sword glowed brilliantly, creating a blinding silver barrier. From the barrier, thousands of condensed silver threads shot out, striking the golden beetle swarm with precision. Shells cracked and shattered in the explosion, thinning the swarm significantly. Han Li's heart sank as he watched, realizing that even his meticulously developed gold devouring beetles might not be sufficient against a nascent soul cultivator. But his disappointment was short-lived. The fallen beetles reanimated, shaking off the attack and flying once more toward the icy woman. At the same time, a phoenix's cry echoed through the hall. A dazzling radiance, like 1,000 suns, swept through the green fog, scattering it entirely. From within emerged a vermilion moon, shining with radiant light, charging directly at the icy woman's barrier. Her expression changed dramatically. The silver barrier began spinning uncontrollably, and she transformed into a streak of black and white light. Attempting to escape, it became clear to her that defeating both Han Li and Nangong Wan together was beyond her capability. She made the decision to retreat and regroup, planning to call for reinforcements. And once she arrived outside, she'd be able to activate the Masked Moon Sect's sect guarding formations and trap the two inside. And that wraps up this episode. In this part, we saw Han Li confront Nangong Wan's senior martial sister and face the fearsome Blood Devil Sword, a weapon infamous for its power and the danger it brings to its wielder. Despite the sword's terrifying reputation, Han Li remained calm and composed, relying on both his intelligence and his cultivated abilities. We watched as he skillfully restrained the sword chi with his divine Devilbane lightning, condensed it into a golden orb, and launched a counterattack using the Gold Devouring Beetles. Every move he made demonstrated not only his raw strength but also his strategic thinking and careful preparation. This episode also highlighted the incredible coordination between Han Li and Nangong Wan. While Han Li focused on controlling and neutralizing the threat, Nangong Wan supported him with her own formidable cultivation and defensive techniques. Together, they showed that even against a highly skilled nascent soul cultivator and a weapon with a devilish aura, teamwork and ingenuity can turn the tide of battle. Moreover, this episode gives us a deeper understanding of the Blood Devil Sword itself. It is not just a weapon of destruction, it carries a dangerous spiritual essence that can corrupt its user over time. Only the strongest and most disciplined cultivators can wield such artifacts without succumbing to their backlash. By overcoming this challenge, Han Li not only displayed his growing power but also his wisdom in handling dangerous forces that others would fear to touch. If you enjoyed this episode or found it exciting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This way, you'll get notifications for the latest episodes following Han Li's journey and witness more of his incredible battles and clever strategies. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next episode as the adventure continues.